Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Book Club. I'm Carrie.
I'm Maddie.
And we're your hosts. I rarely ever get that intro correctly.
No, we're not great at the intros, but we try our best.
Today I'm really excited because we're together and we're in
Florida.
Florida. Ba, 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 ba. One hell of a drug.
So true.
And we're talking about summer books. We're not doing one specific book today.
We're doing two.
Sort of. We're not we don't even really have to go through all the things with it. We're basically just talking about summer rom-coms and summer reading and fun shit.
Yeah.
So
because we love summer.
We did read Beach Read by Emily Henry.
And The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han.
They're both really good and they're both very summer vibes.
Yes.
And we'll also maybe talk about other random things. We'll see. I don't know. There will probably be spoilers in these books. So if you don't care about that,
keep watching.
If you do, read the book.
And then come back.
That being said,
welcome to Book Club.
Hold up the book.
Oh, my bad.
I'll hold up this one. You hold up Beach Read.
Fuck.
That being said, welcome to Book Club.
Hey, what's up?
Ready for Book Club?
I am obsessed.
This is the worst.
What do you mean?
What? No, idiot. Welcome to Book Club.
Welcome to Book Club. Action.
All right, we're going to start with Beach Read because that is the one we read first. Oh, you put sticky notes in Beach Read.
Was I not supposed to?
No, you can. I don't know. I haven't used sticky notes in a while because I didn't use any for Cruel Prince because Cruel Prince made me feel icky. And I didn't want to remember it.
I did sticky notes in all three.
Really?
Yeah, there's only two in the Queen of Nothing. There's two, and then I was like, fuck this goddamn series.
We're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about summer shit.
We're done talking about the Cruel Prince. You guys are weird.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about Beach Read, though. Guys, this was your first Emily Henry book, right?
It was.
I had actually read Emily Henry. I had read Beach Read on my Nook before I was really into reading. But basically any book I read on my Nook, don't remember it. Except for the very first one. I read Love Hypothesis on that one and that was it. But I don't know what it is about reading on a screen. I don't retain anything.
Not really good.
Genuinely, I didn't remember the majority of this book.
Really?
Yeah. I was reading through it and I was like, oh. I knew it was about an author, two authors, and there was a book challenge that they were doing, and that was literally the only thing I remembered.
Really?
Yeah.
And you feel that way with all the books you read on your Nook?
Yeah, I had to reread Love Theoretically. I read that on my Nook. Same thing. It's a little better with audiobooks. Mm-hmm. There's a couple audiobooks I listened to that I kind of remember, but unless it at whatever point in time in my life I was listening or reading these books, unless I was really locked in, don't remember it.
That's crazy.
And I read through them so quickly, within 48 hours I would read through these books, so I don't remember them. But I got to reread it again because I looked on Goodreads and I just kind of rated it originally when I made my account because I didn't have it when I read the book. I rated it originally off of my memory and I gave it 4 stars. Y'all, this is a 5-star book.
Okay, also, let me speak on 4-star, 5-star, the star system. When I, first got on Goodreads, I was 5 stars, 5 stars. And then I started reading, other people's reviews. And I got, I almost self-conscious that I was, giving so many books 5 stars. Because I was like, are these books not 5 stars?
Well, they are, and people are stupid because you know what's also highly rated?
Cruel Prince.
Cruel Prince.
Yeah, you guys are fucking weird with that one.
Yeah, and this
I
think this has 3.5, maybe 3.7 stars, and this is a killer book.
It's so good.
I love this.
But also, apparently, I sent you a TikTok or reel about it, but we haven't sat down and watched those in a few weeks. The ending in Europe and the US ending are different.
What do you mean?
They're different.
Why?
I meant to say we should watch that TikTok before we started the
Yeah.
podcast, but we didn't. And I didn't watch the full video because I
Okay.
hadn't finished the book yet.
Well, can we
And
just
so-
Google the European ending
Yeah,
of
we
Beach Read?
can. We actually can. Let's do
So,
that.
okay, spoiler, here we go. The ending of Beach Read on this one is Gus. They finish their books, right? It's like 9 months. We get a time jump. It's like 9 months later.
Mhm.
What's her name? What is her name? I'm an idiot. What's her name? January.
Oh,
January sells her book first, her little circus people book. And I'm sorry, I didn't even explain the plot. Whatever.
it doesn't matter.
She sells her little circus book first, so she wins their deal, whatever. And then he sells his rom-com. And they're still together. They're still living in Michigan. And he proposes at the end. Like, he throws a big proposal and they're going to get married. Like, that's how this book ends. What does it end in Europe?
Okay, this is on Reddit. I don't really know how to use Reddit, but it says in one ending, January and Gus spend his birthday reading their new books together on the beach and have their happy for now moment. This is the ending I read. Thought it fit wonderfully. That was the ending we had.
No, it wasn't, because we get a time jump chapter where they're reading their books on the beach and he proposes.
Oh, in the other ending, Gus ends up having this big party for his birthday and proposes to January.
Yeah. So the big thing with them is they're like, okay, we're not trying to go for this.
Okay, yeah, the UK ending has they spend their birthday or into his birthday and have their happy for now moment. But was it not his birthday?
It was.
No, it wasn't his birthday. It was the anniversary of when his ex-wife left him.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just talk about the fact that he proposed to January on the anniversary that they're throwing a party for?
But it's because that was his birthday. She left him on his birthday.
Oh, it was his birthday.
Yeah. So he was trying
So
to like
we got-
recreate a new memory so he would enjoy his birthday.
So they didn't get a time jump, so they spent his birthday the year before.
No, they got the time jump.
They got the time jump. They just spent
Except
it differently.
the difference was he doesn't propose in the European ending. They do it because their whole thing is that January, that she's like learning this whole like maybe love isn't about this big giant happy ending love story.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an accumulation of a bunch of happies for now.
Yeah.
Until it just ends up you just take things one day at a time, basically. Fall in love one day at a time. And so that's their thing, is they're like, okay, they're in love, you get a time jump, they are still in love in the European version, and it is them reading their books on the beach on his birthday, and it is a happy for now moment. What we get is a happy for now moment where she says like, I'm pretty confident. She basically says like, I'm pretty confident we're gonna have more happy for now because he proposes.
Got it.
Personally, I like the proposal. I didn't realize there was two different endings. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Some people think that the Reddit post that I just saw, sorry, I can't sit still. I can't do it. I don't know how. Some people, like that
Face
person
the
said,
camera
I
at
can't.
least.
I like to make eye contact with you. I like to look in your eyes. They said that like they thought the proposal was too early, but like, are
Not
they
really.
not 28?
He's in his 30s.
Yeah,
He's like
they're
2
like-
years older than her. And she's 29. By
Okay.
time the book ends, she's 29.
They're old. That's
Not
okay.
old,
They're not old.
but they're old. The cat. They're old enough to be getting married. Like
Yeah.
that is a normal time to be getting married.
Absolutely.
And he was already divorced. He's been married before.
And he already, like, they've known each other. It's not like I totally get, like, oh, we've known each other 9 months and we're getting engaged.
They've
You don't
known
know each other.
since college.
They know each other. Like,
Yeah.
they've known each other for a while.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you've listened this far, basically the plot is, the, like, main plot is that there's, like, these two authors. They went to school together, college together, and they end up being neighbors in a little beach. Not really a beach.
It's a lake.
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan. But everybody from Michigan calls it the beach.
It's not a fucking beach.
It's a
That's
lake.
why I was confused. I was like,
But apparently it's
this
really,
is a lake.
it's pretty.
And
like
it has a tide. No, Michigan's gorgeous. I've never been, but I've seen
It's like
pictures.
pretty like a beach is.
Yes. But apparently
And it's huge.
Lake Michigan has a tide. I don't understand that. How does it have
also have a tide?
How?
The moon?
Yes, but where is the water pulling from? It's round. It's cut off. It's circular. Is it from the center?
It's from the moon. The gravitational pull from the moon.
Where is it pulling? What is the end? It has to have, like, in the ocean, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, there's like, I don't think I understand tides. Am I dumb?
Well, I can't really fully explain it to you.
Well, I don't know. I was
moon.
just really confused about how Lake Michigan has a tide. Because, like, I'm like, oh, lakes are still. Normally.
No, they're not.
They're not.
All lakes have a tide. Like, if you go, like, even the lake by, like, the lake that I used to live by. I hate that my toes are out. I should have taken your advice and put socks on. Fuck.
Here. Fuzzy socks right here.
Amazing. Hold this.
We can't have the dogs out.
No, the dogs cannot be out. Anyways, the lake that I used to live by, like in Texas, has a tide. Like if you walk, like there's trails or whatever, and you can walk, and it like is shoo, shoo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so there's tides.
Our main characters are Augustus and January. January writes rom-com romances, and she's normally very bubbly, happy, sunshine fairy princess girl. Everything is optimistic. Everything is good in the world. Augustus is your stereotypical, he's still like brooding, pessimist.
Everything's bad. We're all gonna die.
He does write fiction still. Fiction is not true.
Fiction is true.
Nonfiction
is
no. Nonfiction is true.
No.
Yes, it is. Because it's the
You're
opposite.
right. You're right.
So
fiction is what? Hold on.
Fiction is not true. Nonfiction
is true. Yes.
So it's fake and not fake.
Yes.
So Augustus does still write fiction, but he doesn't write happy endings. He writes like more realistic stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's always like
makes you question the world.
And it's not what did they call it? It's not like romance. It's
literary fiction.
Literary fiction.
And
so like Moby Dick.
Yeah, and so they're polar opposites. They become neighbors. Apparently, like in January's mind, they've had this rivalry since college, and they get whatever. They end up meeting and again, whatever, and they decide. She thinks that he's like against romance, and he's like, well, you're so fairy princess, like you. And so they're both in a writer's slump. So they make a deal or a bet. January is going to write a literary fiction novel, and Augustus is going to write a romance. And they have till the end of the summer to do it. And whoever sells their book first gets bragging rights. And that's kind of it.
That was literally
bragging rights. And then the other person has to like promote their book, like put it like how there's like quotes on the front of books a lot of the time. Not on this one. Oh, yes, there is.
Josie Silver, author of One Day.
And it says, a breath of fresh air, steamy, smart, and perceptive. Yeah. So it's like stuff like that. They would have to do that. And that's what they do. And there's like some subplots and whatever. And we get their backstories. And they fall in love throughout the whole book. That's the main point of the book. And it's so
cute.
So cute. And I like that this book, these characters, Gus and January, like their love story feels believable. Like it's a romance and like a rom-com. But it feels real. Like, I believe that they fall in love in this.
Yeah.
And I believe they're like, oh, it's like a history. And, like, they have all these little coincidences where they're like, there was, like, lots of miscommunication and they weren't actually rivals. Like, that, I feel like sometimes reading books like this can be not believable. And I have to, like, and I have to be like, oh, okay, if the author says they're in love, right, whatever. But it doesn't feel real. This one felt real.
I don't think I've never read like this kind of romance. This was my first one.
What did you think?
I loved it.
Yeah,
it's such a good time.
This is like what I started with, because I started with Love Hypothesis. The cats are fighting.
I read Icebreaker, but that's like
hockey romance is a subgenre.
I really feel like hockey romance is a subgenre.
Yeah.
The best subgenre. You bitches need to make more of that. Authors,
absolutely,
please get on that. I'm fiending for more hocky romance.
I literally just bought Pucking Around.
I won't start it until hockey season starts again.
I know, but I didn't realize Pucking Around is like 200
It's a big book.
pages. It's like reading fucking A Court of Silver Flames, but it's a hockey romance.
Good.
Good.
I'm
pretty sure there's discussion questions at the back
Are
of
there?
this book. Yeah. I'm pretty freaking sure. I love Emily Henry, and she's gorgeous. She's so pretty.
She's stunning.
I love her books. So good. So good.
Wow. Yeah.
Where are... I know... Hold on. I'm setting my mic down.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Fuck. I found it and then I flipped the page. Behind the book. Reader's Guide. Discussion questions. Bing bong. There you go. They're right there.
Ah. Okay. We don't have to do all these. Let's just do a couple. There were some fun ones, I think. Oh, okay. If you could visit one setting from the book with one of its characters, whom and where would you choose? So some of the settings are both of their...
Well, it's too many. I mean, I'm not picking a regular one.
A regular one?
Like, I'm not picking a generic place that they were a lot.
I'm just listing off the places, the options.
There's a lot.
Yeah, the main options are like January's house, Gus's house,
The beach.
the beach, Posey's house, the Pink Doll house where they do their book club and the 4th of July party, the coffee shop / bookstore. Posey is her main name. I don't remember what they call her in the book. The coffee shop lady.
Jerry or some weird name.
The woods and the cult graveyard.
I want to go to the cult graveyard with Gus.
Really?
Yeah, bro. I've always wanted to go, like, in Waco, Waco, Texas.
Yeah.
We're from Texas.
I knew they had a cult.
We're like we live like an hour.
2 hours.
Well, I no longer
I live
live
2
there.
hours from there.
But like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Waco. I've always wanted to go to like the cult site, like where it was, just to see it. I don't know. The idea of a cult is so crazy to me. Did you know Shen Yun was a cult?
Is
the dance, the little like Chinese dancers. Apparently it's a fucking cult.
Who said that? I've never seen it, but it's always in town.
I'll have to show you.
It is always in town or coming to town.
It's always in town because they're trying to get people to come to their cult. Apparently, I'll have to show you the videos. I went way too far deep into it. I was like,
Shen Yun.
I was like, Shen Yun's a cult. And now anytime I'm talking about a cult, I'm like, did you know Shen Yun's a cult? Brian was like, what the fuck is a Shen Yun?
No, Dylan and I joke about it all the time because we always see posters for it and ads for it.
It's because they're trying to get you.
Crazy advertising money.
Yeah.
Where do they get all that money from? Money laundering.
I don't know. They got kicked out of China because they were talking bad about their government, and that's why they came to the United States, because cults aren't illegal here.
Huh.
Or
they should be.
Like, I don't know. There's a way that they can get around it.
Weird.
If they say that they're like a church or like some kind of organization, then they can get away with it.
That's how like the Church of Scientology does that.
And Mormons. Getting canceled on the internet because today I'm calling Mormons cults. They're a little weird. You have to admit it. They do sister wives.
Some of them.
Not all of them.
I don't know. I'm not educated in Mormonism or any religion, really.
Weird. I don't want to be educated in it. They're scary. Anyways, I want to go to the cult graveyard with
the other places. Is like the drive-in, the carnival. I was scarred. I would have said the carnival originally with Gus because.
Hello.
It's Gus. I feel like I'm a very January person.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say carnival, but I was scarred by going to the Texas State Fair.
Yeah, that's really fair.
And shit got crazy and it was awful. But I think I would say the drive-in.
The drive-in
obviously
was so
with Gus.
Fun. The drive-in was
I love
hilarious.
a drive-in. I love a drive-in. Do you ever watch the movie? No.
Oh, I do. Me and Brian's first date was at a drive-in.
And y'all watched the movie?
I'm going to let you think about that question real quick. Yes, we watched the movie. Have you ever met a more respectful man than God?
Oh, we're good. I don't know why your thing did that. Have you ever met a more respectful man than God? No. As a Christian woman, I have not.
Brian. My original man that was respectful was Brian.
You're right.
He was not trying to dilly-dally.
Dylan and I have never been to a drive-in, but I've been to a drive-in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not respectful. Maybe that's why.
That's fair.
Oh, well, I would go to the drive-in with Gus.
I would go to the drive-in with Gus too, but I wouldn't get freaky like they did at the camp graveyard site because I feel like that's some Ouija board shit, and you're really like if you're I don't know.
Well,
sex is like vulnerable, and
they went a while. They were away from it. They like just went.
I'm also not
into
getting
the
freaky
woods.
in a fucking
in
a tent.
No.
You're fucking on the ground basically.
And also
at that point.
they've been trudging through the rainy forest.
No, and they're sweaty.
And they're sweaty.
Or they're not sweaty because it's been cold.
But it's
like it was cold and rainy.
They're icky and
but
damp.
I know. I'm sorry. Cold sweats are almost worse than like heated sweats.
Yeah.
Like when you're cold, like if you go outside and run in the cold, the sweat from like the way that you feel and the way it smells is almost worse to me than like a hot heated. Like
I agree.
I'd rather run in 90 degrees than 30.
I agree. I don't like when it burns to breathe.
Yeah.
Olive, what are you doing?
She says, well, I'm always at book club. So
I was late. Sorry.
Sorry.
Had to fight with my sister.
And also shit and then spread litter everywhere. I had to go crazy and jump out the litter box.
Okay, this is a fun question. January has a chip on her shoulder from negative actions to her genre of choice, romance. Have you ever felt book shamed for liking a particular genre and or career shamed? Yes. Yes, because men on the internet, and honestly other women too, who are like hardcore fantasy readers, love to shit on rom-coms and romantasy. And I've said it before and I will say it again, there is nothing wrong with love stories. It does not make you less of a feminist or not a strong woman to want to be in love and to want to read about love. You're insane.
Yeah, I definitely think. And also the whole, especially with like smut being more popular now.
Yes, why do we have such a negative...
Why are we shaming?
Americans specifically have such a negative, like uncomfortable relationship talking about sex and sex education.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's because we were never sex educated.
Yeah. Even in the good states. I mean, I love Texas, but I don't love our education system.
Oh my God, it's bad.
But even in states that are like the higher ranked education states,
I still don't feel
they're
like
still not that good. Americans get really weird about like being naked and like all kinds
like
of
the
things.
word vagina. If you said
Telling
that
your
in
kid to say my pee-pee and my
weenie,
my ninny or
my
whatever.
ninnies, yeah, instead of calling them like nipples or I don't know what
like,
you would
I guess
call
like
them.
people, I think I have to do like tits.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with like a 3-year-old being like my tits.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'd probably fucking laugh. But like if you said the word vagina in a room full of boomer men, at least one of them would go into cardiac arrest, and one of them would have an
people
aneurysm.
They don't know anything about female anatomy, about what a real uterus looks like, about periods, anything.
Ask a man what a fallopian tube is. They don't know.
They don't know.
An American man. They don't know.
And like, it's so weird because then like you go like in like Japan, for example, they have onsens where it's like obviously like most of them are gender separated, but it's still like basically one big pool and everyone's naked. You cannot go in there without taking a shower and you cannot go in there with clothes. And
that's crazy.
But it's like normal. It's like people like and myself included, I would have a really hard time not staring at people.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not used to like even in like girl locker rooms. Like I hated in middle school going into the locker room was traumatizing.
That is literally the reason I left public middle school in 6th grade. I went for 5 days and I was like, whoa, what do you mean? Other girls are wearing real bras. I had no boobies, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to be.
And girls are mean.
Girls are
and,
mean.
And here's, you know what's weird? I don't know if this was just our middle school. My nose is really itchy. Hold on. I don't know if it's just our middle school, but they didn't give the girls time to shower.
Yeah.
We didn't get to shower
Because
after
athletics was like first period.
Yeah.
First or second period.
For me, it was first.
It would have been first for me too.
Yeah. And
because we went to the same middle school for the 5 days that I was there.
I think the boys got to shower.
Well, because that would be cruel and unusual punishment if
It was
the boys
the same
didn't
thing
shower.
for girls.
I mean, like, yeah, girls are stinky, but
not the same as middle school boys.
A 12-year-old boy versus a 12-year-old girl. Like, yeah, 12-year-old girls, they don't smell the best.
Yeah.
Especially after they've been like working out. The hormones and the sweat.
And whenever
just
you're like,
disgusting.
especially girls who like get their period, they don't know how to handle it.
I cannot imagine.
Can you oh my god. I was a very late bloomer, so like that didn't really happen to me until almost high school.
Yeah, I didn't have a period until high school, but I cannot imagine being in middle school and like having to do forced athletics. And it wasn't like a sport. Like
no,
in high
was
school,
like run a lap. And like
in high school I played tennis, so I was like a part of athletics. Yeah. But
the second I could get out of athletics, I was out.
I don't blame you. But like I cannot imagine like having a period and being forced to do like because in regular athletics in Texas, at least, or where we were, I don't know if it's the same
North
everywhere.
Texas.
It was like, this day we're playing volleyball. Everybody has to play. This day we're playing basketball.
Like, I don't know
Everybody
the rules.
has to play. I don't know what I'm doing. And then you
the
have
random
to run.
days where they made us roller skate. You remember that? Were you there for that?
I was not there.
They gave us roller skates for one day, and it was like so fucking bizarre.
That's disgusting. How many kids' feet have been in those roller skates?
I don't know, and it was crazy.
That is a breeding ground for athlete's foot
and like staph infections.
Literally. Yeah.
Disgusting. Here's another question. Let's move on.
What were we talking about? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Number 5. Is your worldwide view more like Gus's or January's? Do you tend to be optimistic or pessimistic? Has that changed with time and experience? I'm an optimist for sure, but I am dating a pessimist.
I don't know what I am. I fear that I'm a pessimist.
I feel like you lean pessimist.
That's sad.
But when we're together, everything's good.
Yeah.
So when we're together, we're always optimists. But
I feel like that's also my my sun and rising sign really fighting each other at all times. My sun is an Aries and my rising is a Cancer. So if you know what that means,
about that.
It probably means that I'm an emotional wreck and I don't know how to handle things. Everything is just heightened. My senses are always at 100%.
I am a Libra sun and a Libra rising. And then I'm pretty sure I'm an Aquarius moon. Or is
I don't
the
know
moon
anything
the main
about
one? I don't know.
No, your sun's your main one.
Okay, yeah. I'm an Aquarius moon. So like I'm all air sign, baby. There's nothing I can do about it.
My sun is Leo. So I've got
2 fire signs and a water sign. That's crazy. That's crazy. What does that mean for my astrology girlies?
Yeah,
what does that mean?
I love astrology girls. I
know. I want y'all to tell me everything about me.
I wish we had friends like other ones.
Period. That's it. I wish we had friends.
And I want an I also wish I could retain the astrology information. I cannot retain it.
I can never remember it.
But I feel that, unfortunately, sometimes I am a pessimist. I am either severely optimistic or severely pessimistic.
You're very extreme. I'm
very
definitely
extreme.
in the middle. I try to like find a balance because if I get I do have a tendency to lean optimistic though, because if I get too optimistic, I get disappointed and then I get real sad. I'm really sad with disappointment.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that has changed with time or like? I think I've always been that way.
I've always been that way.
If anything, I was more optimistic, and now I'm a little more. You grow up, and I'm like, okay, well,
I feel like
things are real. Things happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember my childhood, a lot of it. But I know for a fact. At 9 years old, I had stomach ulcers because I was so anxious that I threw up every day. I threw up multiple times a morning before going to school because I was so anxious about going to school.
Oh, babe.
And I gave myself Brian, literally, we were talking about this. He goes, what 9-year-old? No, Bailey, my cousin. She was like, what were you so stressed about? I don't know.
Life.
I was 9 years old, vomiting every morning because I was so stressed that I made myself sick. I had stomach ulcers from vomiting so much. So I unfortunately feel that while I don't think I was really a pessimist, because I wasn't like thinking negatively, I was just anxious as hell.
When I was a kid, I was anxious because if there was ever a problem, but I was like, I don't know, there just was not an option in my brain other than I can fix this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're a fixer.
Ooh, it's been happening a long time.
That's a reoccurring thing for you. You think you can fix everything. And I believe in you. If somebody could fix everything, it would be you.
My God, thank you.
It would be you. I believe in you.
And if there was ever anybody who I think could set the world on fire, it would be you.
Thanks, Queen.
You could lead a revolution.
I could be Katniss Everdeen, the girl on fire. I'd be so angry though. Katniss was like put together.
She's also very angry.
I'd just be throwing shit.
If I was Katniss Everdeen and somebody like PETA was like, I actually have always really loved you, I would be like, oh my God, you want to go on a date?
I'd be like, PETA, read the fucking room.
I'd be like, do you want to go? Like,
you want to go? I know we're like trying to kill these other tributes right now, but like, you're already in this hiding spot. What if we just started?
No, that'd be me for real. I'd be like, well,
horny on Maine in the Hunger Games.
I'd be like, oh my God, you were giving that bread to me. That's so nice. At her. That's so nice. He burned it on purpose so she could eat it. I would have been like, you're so romantic.
That's so sweet.
Star-crossed lovers. I wouldn't. You would have been very Katniss. You would have been like,
bitch.
You would have gone for Haymitch.
What?
I think you would have gone for Haymitch.
The fuck? Maybe like Woody Harrelson, like as a dude. I love Woody Harrelson. I wish that like I don't even like. I don't think like I'm not sitting here being like I don't like old dudes. I don't think they're attractive. I just want to be around Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
He's just so cool. I just want to be his friend.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's so fucking cool.
There's a question on here that I just want to talk about because I think this
7?
is 6. It's not even a question I want to discuss really. It's just something I want to point out. One of the things in this book is that January has had in her mind for basically a decade that her and Gus were college rivals and that he was like out to get her. And it turns out Gus was always really into her, loved her books. He was just very interested at how she could be so optimistic when he had such a horrible childhood. He had a very jaded view of the world, and she kind of did on the opposite end, but he was so interested in how she could live that way, and he was very intrigued by her always. I just think it's very embarrassing.
Bro, she was delusional.
January is it's about me. Everything's about me.
Yeah.
They say that everything is not about
That's January.
Me.
But what if it is January core?
That and I was reading it. I just get secondhand embarrassment anytime. This always happens. I feel like with female main characters where they're like, he hates me. We're rivals, and the guy's like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
I actually love you, and she's like,
what?
Oh, I thought you didn't like me, and you thought that I was stupid and dumb and the worst. And they're like, no.
Never thought
Where did you get that? And she's like, nowhere. I think whatever. Like, fuck off. I actually hate you.
Yeah, it was secondhand embarrassment.
It makes it makes me sad for them. And then the whole book, I'm like, stop. He's not embarrassed with you. Oh my God, you're making it worse.
Yeah.
January, you make things worse. Anyways,
I want to talk about 7.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the subplots is this beach house that she gets is her father has died. She grew up with like this image of this perfect love story for her parents. Her father died, and she finds out her father he had a mistress, a whole second life, a long-term mistress,
a house,
and they had their beach house in Michigan was him and his mistress's house together. And so when he died, he left her that house. And the mistress still lives in the town. She like runs into her a couple times. The mom knew about the affair. The mom who survived cancer twice. And so it kind of, her dad dies, and it jades her entire view of love, because she was like, my parents had the most epic love story, and it wasn't.
Turns out they didn't.
It wasn't exactly what she thought it was.
Yeah.
So the question is, did January's father deserve her forgiveness? Has she truly forgiven him? Two very big questions. Let's start with the first one. I feel like we're going to disagree. Did January's father deserve her forgiveness? He writes in a letter that says, hey, this is happening. I hope you can forgive me.
I think the thing about me is that I don't think anybody deserves forgiveness. If you do something fucked up, you don't deserve to be forgiven. It is up to the person in whom you fucked over to forgive you or not. And I think it's completely up to their discretion. As a person, I don't think he was a bad person. So I'm glad that, I hope that she does forgive him. But I don't think anybody is deserving of forgiveness. So it's like a complicated.
I agree. Actually, I agree with that. I don't know why I thought we would disagree.
Thought I would say no.
I thought you would be like, nah, fuck him. He's the worst.
No, I think it's the letters.
Mm-hmm.
The letters I was sobbing reading those letters.
Girl, same.
I couldn't have read it if I were you.
So
Carrie has a dead dad.
I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, and then it started to get better, and then he died. So
I don't know how you did that.
Reading this
and
was
you
kind
didn't
of
cry.
a lot. Oh, I didn't cry reading it this time, but I'm pretty sure the first time I did. I did remember the letters. Not word for word, but I remember there were letters from the first time I read it.
I kept seeing things about like the letters because obviously the internet knew that I was reading this. So my internet bug kept recommending me stuff, and it was like the letters. And I was like, oh, Gus wrote her letters. No, I was not expecting them to be from her dad. She found a safe
in the house that had a letter for every year on January's birthday that he wrote to her, and she got them all when she was, the last one he ever wrote was for her 28th birthday. She read them all at 29.
I was
literally sobbing. From the day of her birth to 29. I agree. I don't think anybody deserves forgiveness unless, I think if you are going to say, it's like, with your partner or something, if you are going to make the decision to stay and move on with that relationship, especially when it's something really big, hypothetical situation, your partner cheats on you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there's necessarily a time limit on how long it has to take you to forgive them, but if you decide to stay with that person, whatever mistake they made, you at least have to be making moves to forgive them, because I don't think it's fair to hold it and to hold it over them.
Not fair to them, but it's definitely not fair to your like own mental sanity. Like January's mother.
Yes, but
I don't know how, as a woman who, like, if I had cancer and my partner cheated on me, I don't know how January's mother did it. As a daughter,
I would not want somebody to stay with me.
Yeah.
Just because I had if I had cancer or something.
Yeah.
God forbid. Like if that was the only reason they were staying, I'd be like, get out. Lost.
Yeah.
Get lost. If you had a mistress, get lost. Have fun with your mistress. Marry her.
Because kind of what happened, I feel like, was he had this mistress. She had cancer. She got better.
Yeah, but
was in remission.
They had a separation.
They had their separation
before, or
when she was like 13.
It was in between first cancer and second cancer. They had a separation
because she didn't get the second round of cancer until January was going to grad school. So it would have been way later.
During
so he had this mistress.
Yeah, that was where the mistress started, and it kind of just never ended.
But no, it did.
Oh yeah,
once she got cancer again. He like kind of disappeared.
He was like, "Hey, I have to go be with her.
I have to go take care of my wife."
And they started to work it back out, and he was gone.
And he like kind of pushed the mistress aside because the mistress ended up having like her own guy.
Ended up. Yeah, like she found somebody else.
But I think she said like a part of me will always love him because they were kind of like high school sweethearts.
Yeah, but I think with this one, I think what makes it complicated is that when somebody dies, you don't have them in your life anymore. There is no timeline, but at the same time, forgiveness is really hard when there is no mutual closure. Like, for example, with like I definitely had struggles with this because I was like, with my own dad, there's still things that I wonder if I'm ever going to, he passed away when I was 19. And I'm like, is there ever going to be a time where I fully feel settled?
Yeah.
Because you have to learn how to forgive with the information you have.
Yeah.
Without thinking about the what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
What if I could talk to them? What would they say? What are the things, the pieces you'll never get to know? And so I'm like, genuinely, there's a part of me that feels like she'll never be able
to truly forgive him.
Well, I don't know if she'll ever be able to let go, because there is, you get to from what it feels like is you get to a stop sign where you're like, it's like almost like a cliff drop off where you're like going up this hike and then the cliff just drops off.
Yeah.
What can you
because
do?
there's things that, like, especially like what she was talking about, like he had this whole other life and like she didn't know about it until after he passed away. And so like there's things that like, oh well, I want to ask them about this, and you just can't, you'll never fully know. Like, so now she feels like she didn't know her dad.
Yeah, my dad did a lot of things that like I will never get to know. I'll never get to ask him, why did you do that?
Yeah.
And get an answer. I'll never understand it. And the thing is like, maybe when I'm 40 or 50 or like have a lot more years on it, I'll have a different perspective and be like, oh no, I forgive him for what he did. I don't have to understand it to forgive it.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, it's like, oh, like I don't know if that's a real thing. I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you can get closure. I think you can accept it, but I don't know if acceptance is the same thing as forgiveness.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I can accept how things were and move on with my life and know how he was as a person.
Yeah.
And I feel like January can accept that the reality of the situation was that she had a very rose-colored glasses view of what was actually happening. But she's never going to get closure from him.
Yeah.
She did get the letters, but he didn't know he was going to die when he was writing that last letter.
Yeah.
So who knows? I don't know.
This is a very, 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 that's why in my review I said it's like so much more than a rom-com, because it like
so much
like
more
it was
rom-com.
so fun to read Gus's and January's love story, but it like genuinely, like it just makes you kind of sit there and think about like your own personal relationships, because like, yeah, if someone, also I feel like, I don't know, not a lot of, well, really not a lot of people close to me have died other than like my great grandparents. Like all of my grandparents are still alive. Both of my parents are still alive. I haven't really been hit with that kind of grief yet.
Most of my family's dead. I'm very comfortable with it.
Do you realize, I was thinking about like, Carrie has a dead dad. Like that probably looks so fucked up for people who are not as close as you and I.
You know what's so funny is that like I am, like we were just talking about, like I am a optimist. I'm like, I lean more towards like fairy princess optimist, like January. But at the same time, my humor and my family's humor, my sisters included and my mom, we're so morbid.
Yeah.
It's like if the Addams family had on fairy
I
wings.
think it's funny, like when you make dead dad jokes, I'll laugh and everybody else gets uncomfortable, but like I think it's so funny.
It's so funny.
But also I think if somebody else was like, oh, my friend made a dead dad joke, I can't laugh at that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, then you're your friends.
Are you really friends? Like, I don't know. I feel like if somebody died around me and I was making jokes, like you would laugh. But like no one's died around me, so I don't know really like that grief that you carry and have to deal with. But I feel like when you have like a complex, I mean, any relationship is complex.
Also, too, is that like she had to deal with the grief of losing the dad she thought she had.
Yeah,
and then
and then finding out.
realizing
you're mourning
that
not only your dad, but you're mourning also the
thought of your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me at least, I didn't really like my dad when he was alive either. Don't like him dead. I didn't like him alive. But at the same time, there was a very pivotal point for me when I was in college where I was like, this is how my dad is when he was still alive. I was like, this is how he's going to be. If I'm going to have a relationship with him, I need to accept how he is and understand that there are certain things he's not going to change. And so I had a little bit of that closure. And then I was like, okay, well, he died. And I was like, well, the only thing I got from that was that, like, oh, right before he died, I'm pretty sure he was about to get divorced. So I'm like, oh, that could have changed things.
Yeah.
So, but that was the only thing I was like, oh, what if that had happened? Like, would that have changed anything in my relationship with him?
Would the dynamic be different?
And now I'm like, I guess we'll never know. Same with January. She never gets to know.
I feel like, though, like, sometimes death makes you, like, again, human relationships are so very complex. Yeah. And if you already have, like, a weird dynamic or maybe a complicated dynamic, I feel like them dying can, I don't want to say force you to forgive it. But because, like, sometimes I think, like, oh, I have a complicated relationship with this person. If they died, I would feel so guilty for having a complicated relationship. But when they're alive, it's like, well, do they deserve to be? I feel like death makes you kind of be like, oh, well, they're dead now, so
you have to miss them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like, so complex.
Yeah, it is. I don't know.
Death really sucks, man.
Yeah.
Shit, dog.
Whatever, man. Okay, anyways, last question. What's your perfect beach read? Like, you don't have to pick a book necessarily, but what's your idea of, like, a perfect beach read?
I think we talked about this in the episode when we were like, beach or pool? Because being at the beach, I love the beach, but the sand pisses me off. At the paperback books. I
agree.
An asshole.
I want to be able to sit at the pool.
Yeah.
While I can see the ocean.
Yeah.
And I think for book-wise, I want it to just be a lighthearted, like, honestly, Emily Henry is such a good rom-com writer, but her books
they're heavy.
Sometimes they get heavy. No, but not like too heavy, not heavy the way of like a fantasy is or something, or like a literary fiction, but her books specifically really hit a spot for women in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah. It's not like Icebreaker where it's like there might be
the main conflict is that Claire's like a mean side character.
Right.
This is like, it makes you think like about who you are as a woman and human development
and human experiences.
Yes. Especially Happy. I can't wait for you to read Happy Place.
I'm so excited.
Happy Place gets heavy a little bit. But then there's like, I think I would like to read a book, especially like a little book and like a little, maybe it's like a classic romance where it's like big city girl goes back to her small hometown and has a summer fling, and the big conflict is that, I don't know, there's like a failing bookstore and she has to help it.
Yeah.
Like, I want that on the beach.
Yeah.
Or like on the pool looking at the beach.
Yeah. Same.
That's beach read.
Beach read, we loved it. Emily Henry, love her.
I don't feel like the next one we're going to do is Summer I Turned Pretty.
This one we can do quick.
Yeah, we're going to do this real quick because we're 50 minutes in?
Mm-hmm. Also, why do you guys like Conrad exactly? I don't know. Okay, so before we read this, I didn't know. I've never seen the show.
We read this so we could watch the show.
Yeah, because Taylor Swift music is in the show, and it just looks so cute.
And everyone was obsessed with it last summer.
Yes, everybody was obsessed with it, and I wanted to read it, and I kept seeing things about Conrad.
Yeah.
Conrad sucks.
Conrad, we don't have, okay, hear me out. We do not know who she ends up with. We do not know what happens.
We've only read this one.
We've only read this one.
And we haven't seen the show.
We haven't seen the show. We do not know. We are not spoiling for ourselves. But I have seen everybody team Conrad. Conrad sucks. I'm going to be so for real. The only character that was like, as a character, obviously I liked the book. But the only character that I was like, I like you as a person, Jeremiah.
Even Belly.
Even Belly, I didn't like her that much. Like,
She's crying.
I will say,
she's a crybaby, like
tattletale whiner.
FOMO bitch.
Jenny Han is really good at writing. Like, reading this book, I expected to be cringe that it was like reading from a 16-year-old point of view.
Yeah.
But because a lot of the times that I read stuff like that, it's like the 16-year-old is like trying to sound like an adult. In this, it feels like I can remember being 16, and I can empathize with Jenny in a lot of the things she's feeling. Or not Jenny, Belly. Yeah. In a lot of the things she's feeling. I don't agree with it, but like her whole friendship with Taylor, they hated each other. And I can understand having a best friend
you
that
don't like.
you actually hate, and they actually hate you.
Yeah.
Not you. Could never be us.
Could never be us. Thank God we had like in our developing years, we've been friends since we were 12. Best friends since 13. Well, really like 12 and a half.
Nah, I feel like we kind of clicked
immediately. Yeah.
But we just didn't like start hanging out, because how do you hang out when you don't really
go to school together? Yeah. But we started, once we had that first our first sleepover was, I remember it so distinctly. We bleached shorts and did ombre shorts.
You and one other girl.
Yeah. And we did the ombre. I think the other girl ended up leaving early.
Yeah, whatever.
And we hung out for like 2 days straight. We spent the whole weekend together.
We found out she lived like 2 streets up from me. It was perfect.
It was iconic and revolutionary.
About us.
Yes, it was amazing.
Our friendship is more sacred than
most relationships.
Most of anything on the earth. Like maybe more sacred than the Vatican.
Could be. Really could be. But like, I distinctly remember our first sleepover, and I'm so thankful that we had each other through our like developmental years.
There was never a time we had like the stereotypical weird 6 months that we like didn't talk in high school, because we went to different high schools and we normally talked all the time. There was like a weird 6-month stretch that we just didn't talk, but I never hated you. I never felt competition with you.
Nope.
I never felt like you were trying to be better than me, or I was trying to be better than you.
It was always just,
we never fought over boys. There was a period in time where we not even liked the same boy. I liked a boy, and you were like, yeah, he's a cute boy. I never felt
there was never, and that's funny because like typically our taste in men is different. Vastly different. But like when we did like the
and here's the thing too, is that boy
it was like
would have gone for you, and I was like, he would have.
Are we thinking of the same boy?
Yes.
Oh
yes. All through middle school and high school? No. Oh yeah. He was like, I obviously, like, nothing, this is like a boy that nothing ever happened with. It was literally a middle school, my first crush, my first, like, real crush, really. And
I just thought he was a cutie butt.
And you liked that he liked you.
Yes.
And I agree. I agree.
I was a little whore.
And here's
when
the
a
thing.
boy had a crush on me, he could be the ugliest motherfucker. A boy had a crush on me, and I was like, oh, maybe I do like him. I was an attention whore. Yeah. I got attention, and I was like, that tastes delicious, actually.
But here's the thing, is that would happen, and I knew it, and I didn't care. If anything, I felt validated, because I was like, no, that's so true.
I love our friendship.
I love our friendship too, and there's so many.
Iconic.
There were so many friendships we had that were competitive. And mean.
And I feel like not a lot of 13, 14, 12 to 16-year-olds are able to be friends without having that competition.
And it's exhausting. Now, anytime I see it happening or I get like a vibe of it, it repulses me. Or like I'm like, you might be that way. Repulsed. I hate it.
It's exhausting.
And when I see girls that I really, really like, and I see that they have a friend that I'm like,
that's like competing with them for real.
I'm like from the outside looking in, I can see it happening, and I want to go to that friend and be like, hey, run as fast as you can.
Like, you don't have to. You really don't have to feel that way.
Girls are out there.
Yeah.
And they'll take you in.
Yeah. We will.
But here's the thing. I can't be that mad at Belly in this book, because I get annoyed with her, but she is acting genuinely.
She acts 16.
And she acts 16.
Or the age that, like, if there was like 15, a little
16.
Flashback, like when it was 11. She was acting 11. Like when I think there was one flashback to when she was 9 and she was like pouting, and all the boys were like, quit pouting. I was pouting at 9. I was throwing, like, I was
Yeah, I
That
agree.
yeah.
And the thing is, too, is she only got what she wanted. She only got attention when she tattletaled or cried.
Right.
And that is girlhood.
Yeah.
But Conrad,
He's a dick.
he's a dick. In the flashbacks, he wasn't always a dick.
Yeah.
But in the current time,
And
at 18-year-old him, he sucks.
yeah. And there's no correct way, because like we find out like towards the end of the book that Conrad and Jeremiah's mother has cancer again. And
so they're going through their emotional issues.
right. And like it's in her liver. Like she's not doing hot.
She's got about 6 months.
Yeah, it's terminal at this point. So like there's no right way to deal with, that's not even grief. That's just like almost like a premonition of grief. Is that the right word?
It's like I mean, I've never had to experience that. Every death I have ever experienced has been quick.
But like kind of like an early onset grief.
Yeah, you have
like
to
there's no correct way to deal with it.
grief. You have to deal with it. But the thing is you don't have to be mean. And everyone's going to probably come for us because we stand up for Nesta in ACOTAR, and she's very similar.
But
however, she has a redemption arc.
Also, I feel like we've said this a few times. Neither of us, we love Nesta as a character. We love the redemption arc.
Yes.
In the first 4 books,
sucks.
she fucking sucks, and there's no excuse for her behavior. The way she lashes out at people, there is no excuse for. You can
forgive without having excuses.
Right. And there's no excuse. Like, this is harsh, but I've always said it. Okay, you're mentally ill. That doesn't give you a pass to treat people like shit. I love Nesta and I love her journey and I love her development as a character. The things that she did, no one deserves forgiveness. It is up to Feyre to forgive Nesta. Yeah. It's up to everybody at their own discretion to forgive them. But like, there's no excusing what she did. We personally, because like we can see ours, like
it's easier to forgive certain things depending on the person,
depending on who you are. Yeah. So like, I really like Nesta. And again, there's no correct way to go about things, but that doesn't mean you just get a free pass to be a fucking asshole.
And in this book,
Conrad
is a fucking asshole. And here's the thing, his redemption arc, not even redemption arc, I don't think. I can understand as a 16-year-old, sort of.
Maybe.
Whenever she sees him like crying on the beach, that's him saying, what pisses me off is there's a line in this book where he says, I think about you. You know that. And it's his way of saying, I know you're right. I like you. But the thing is, no, she doesn't.
Yeah, how is she supposed to know that?
I read that and I was like, going off of this being believable, her just believing that
was insane.
Is delusional to its core.
Yeah.
And even Jeremiah going to her and being like, "Hey, he's gonna hurt you."
He's a dick.
That's his brother.
Yeah.
And he knows his brother.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you doing that? He's not gonna treat you the same. Jeremiah is cute. He's cuter in the show. I do know what the actors look like.
He's
cuter in the show. Conrad, no, thank you. He's a dick. Cameron is kind of dorky, her like little summer boyfriend. I like Cameron more than I like Conrad.
No, literally me too.
But can we talk about how cringy Cameron is for a second?
Towards the end. He was really cute.
He was
at the beginning.
very cute in the beginning, and he's very smart. But once he seems just as inexperienced with relationships as Belly does, which is kind of cute.
It's kind of cute for them.
But then she's like, "Hey, do you want to like go?"
Then they get to the point where it's like, "Oh, well, we should do things," and neither of them know how to do things.
Yeah, and she's at least trying.
She's like, "Let's do fun teenage things,"
and
he's
skinny
like,
dip, and he's like,
no.
Maybe not. But then he doesn't even text her. He leaves a bottle with a note in it.
This was written in 2009.
Okay.
So you have to take about a decade and a half.
Phone, though.
She has a home phone.
No, she has a cell phone.
She does have a cell phone.
Yeah.
You're right. But I don't think it was used as much. Can you imagine being a teenager in 2009? Nobody really like texted like that.
That's true. I don't know.
Very different time.
Very different time. I think that still though, him being like, I owe you one skinny dip.
Weird.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Also, I didn't know teenagers actually went skinny dipping. I never done that. I've never done that. I'm almost 25.
Maybe if I lived in a beach town though, maybe it's different.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in the ocean at all. Definitely not naked. swimsuits don't really do much.
You guys heard of jellyfish?
Swimsuits, okay, swimsuits don't really do much to like, I mean, if something wanted to get in your swimsuit, it could.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's vulnerable.
That's vulnerable. I don't know. I just like imagining my nips in the water and like a crab coming
I'm not
up
worried
and,
about
like,
my nips. You have a hole.
That too.
What if a brain-eating amoeba gets in there?
A pussy-eating amoeba. Yeah. No, literally. I think brain-eating amoebas are from fresh water, not saltwater.
Oh, well, there's got to be some type of bacteria that likes to
No,
eat pussy.
that's wrong because you can definitely get brain-eating amoebas in the Gulf of Mexico and Texas. That water's disgusting. You guys ever been to Galveston? Yuck.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, but also too, they go to like a party, and the life of the party is Jeremiah. He gets on the stage and he's doing karaoke, and he said like, this one's for
Cam Cameron
and Belly, and he starts singing Summer Lovin'. I want to sing a duet with Jeremiah.
Literally.
He's so
cute.
fun
and so cute.
And I would have been down if I was in this book. If I was Belly, I would have been down bad for him.
I think
he's a lifeguard. He's stronger. She even says he is stronger and more built than Conrad now.
And he, personally, I feel like he's a mama's boy, but not in a bad way.
Not in a gross
because
way.
Susanna is not like...
He is a mama's boy in the sense of he loves his mother and he wants to take care of her and be around her. Not in a sense of he loves his mom because his mommy takes care of him.
And his mom does... Like, Susanna doesn't want to fuck her kids.
Yeah.
She just, like, genuinely fucking loves them.
Susanna is not a... So, hear me out.
She's not a boy mom like that.
She's not a boy mom, but he is a mama's boy.
Yes.
In a good way. Conrad is just a dick.
Is just an asshole.
He's just a dick all around.
Yeah.
He does not ever treat Belly nice. He doesn't treat anybody nicely.
No, especially like
I don't even think he has a little girlfriend kind of in that summer. I don't even think he treats her nicely.
Oh, and she was a raging bitch.
And I literally don't even think he treats her that good.
No.
He sucks.
No,
I want us to watch the first season just to like
I do
see the vibes, and then maybe we'll talk about it in another episode or something.
Yeah, because we'll probably.
It was so easy to read.
Yeah, and it's a tiny book, and
so
I don't think the other ones are much bigger.
It reads very quickly, and I liked that.
Yeah, we read this in like 48 hours.
Yeah, I could have read it faster than that had I not been like busy packing to come here.
Yeah, so it was really fun, and I can't wait to read the next two.
I think the next summary books we have is like People We Meet on Vacation.
The next two to this.
The next one to The Summer I Turned Pretty. And then I bought like a couple of random ones at the bookstore that we will probably read separately. But
yeah,
I'm really excited to read that's the one Emily Henry book I haven't read is People We Meet on Vacation. And I'm pretty sure it's an early one. Like I think it's one of her first ones. Or like one of her first really big popular ones. I have been seeing it for years. I've just never read it.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. And then we have to read Book Lovers.
Yes.
I'm very excited for that.
I'm so excited for that.
And we have Powerless coming out. Reckless, the second in the Powerless trilogy.
Literally less than a week away now. It'll already be out by the time this video
neither
comes
of us
out.
have read the novella of before Powerful. We're going to read Powerful because it's really small.
Tiny.
And then we're going to read Reckless.
I'm so excited.
And
the novella is from Adina. Is that her name?
Yeah,
Adina's point of view.
Which makes me want to sob.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I'm excited.
Our, other YouTube.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it'll be out yet,
but
by the time
we can start promoting it.
Yeah, but yeah, we are gonna start a little separate
a
booktube channel. Like obviously we already post these episodes on YouTube, unless you're a Spotify listener, whatever. We also have these on YouTube, just book club podcasts. But we also are gonna start a little dual channel where we just make like short
BookTube
regular
content.
BookTube content, regular fucking YouTube videos.
Where we will do things like read each other's books and then discuss it, like books that I've read that she hasn't read, and vice versa.
We'll do things like going on little book dates and other all kinds of BookTube things.
Yeah,
so
BookTube content.
As soon as we have that channel set up, we'll start linking it. Yeah, and y'all can go subscribe to that.
And it'll be very fun, very cutesy.
Fun and very cute. It's not set up yet though. We're getting there.
We're getting there. but we wanted to announce it so you guys know to be on the lookout.
On the lookout. Other than that, make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe on YouTube, listen on Spotify. We post constantly, specifically on Instagram.
Yeah.
But on TikTok too. We post pretty often on TikTok. And follow us on Goodreads so you can keep up with the books that we're actively reading. Even the books that we
maybe don't
do
discuss.
an episode on.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about, like, we post about them on Goodreads. Like, we put our reviews on there, rate them, whatever, and you can read along with us.
Yeah.
So
super fun. Hope you liked today's episode.
We had a super fun time.
We had a great time.
We're filming another one later this week.
Yeah.
That I'm on.
And it's
another episode.
But that one's going to come out before this one.
Is it? I don't know
In
when this
my
episode's
head,
coming out.
I created a calendar, and I don't think I told you about it.
Okay.
In my head, I created a calendar.
If you follow us on Instagram, we'll post the calendars that list what episodes are coming out when in that month. So we'll post what we're doing
that
for
out
July.
and then we'll get it posted.
I have no clue. She does that shit. I don't know, man. I edit and that's it. Anyways,
teamwork makes the dream work. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
We are best friends.
The power of friendship. Or you know what I'm talking about?
Nope. Thanks for coming to book club.
Thanks for going to book club.
Love you.
See you next week.